Where's the remote? Found it.
Turn off the lights.
All right.
Did you grab the drinks?
Yeah, I got them.
Okay, I'm making the popcorn.
It's starting. Come on.
All right. Okay, I'm here. Hit the button. Hi, I'm Jill.
And I'm Gianna. And welcome
to
to
the We Watch It All podcast,
where we watch it all and give you our opinions.
AKA the opinions no one ever asked for. Sorry, I was setting my cat up.
Wow, this is like the second episode where you've not really been here to do the thing. Was it Andor or was it OC?
No, I've been here. I'm here.
Well,
It's
you didn't
just
say it
my
right.
boy's been here, and I'm preoccupied with helping get him settled.
Okay.
A settled boy means a quiet podcast.
Yeah, that is true. We did just give him catnip treats, so he should be quiet. But, you know, we still gotta have a sense of...
We jumped up with a nice snug fest we thought we were going to have, and instead we had a nice poop fest on his butt, so we had to clean him up.
TMI.
Well, he had...
Expose you, Koo.
It happens when you have
Okay,
nice,
stop uncovering him.
long-haired cats. They have beautiful fur, but Palm's going to the bathroom.
People are like, one can't poop and one's pooping so much he's getting it on himself.
Yeah.
All right, no,
That's
this is now TMI lifestyle podcast.
Okay.
Here we go.
Oh, I thought I could remove that pillow, but I can't. Okay.
Alrighty.
We're done.
Well,
Moving
let's
about.
get started with our news. So we counted. I have 15 pieces of news. You have 8, but I technically have 14 because you said you have one of mine. And since I have so many, I figure I'll just give it to you. So
How kind are you?
Thank you. So how do we want to break this down?
Just, you have 15?
14 technically. So quickly math.
Let me ask you, do you have two small ones? Like see, this looks like two small ones right
Yeah,
here.
I know,
then
I
just
definitely do.
Put those two together.
All right, that will work. All right, so who wants to go first?
I'll start.
All right, go ahead.
I'm going to start off with some Real Housewives like you.
Yeah, no, my first
It's
4
just
like
Real
housewives. Yeah.
So, I'm not going to read them. Stop trying to cover them. I'm starting off with a little Joe Gorga, because everybody likes a little Gorga. It's a resident joke around here that this episode where Joe Gorga had the spray hair.
Yeah, fighting.
He was fighting
Joe Giudice.
Iconic. When he got the black all over the shirt, no one could figure out what that was, and then we realized it was Joe
Yes.
Gorga's spray. That I use that spray when I don't have enough time to dye my hair properly. So it's always a joke like, let's not get Gorga. But
Don't get Gorga.
But
And nobody gets it.
Nobody gets
But
it.
I don't think...
Some people have that. At my job, I made a comment about it, and some lady knew.
But
she
did you
knew.
did you say, oh, I don't want to like Gorga?
No, well, we were talking about the spray. We were talking about the spray, and I said, yeah, I don't want to get... And I didn't realize that nobody knew what I was talking about.
Yeah,
and I
that's
go,
a weird thing.
Yeah, I don't want to get... When it rains, I get worried that I'm going to get Gorga. And she goes, oh... Joe, when he had the hairs,
Yeah,
I said,
you have to. You had to give it some context. Like you can't just go.
Oh, yeah,
I don't want to.
no,
Gorga.
I don't think anybody
I don't even
would
think
just-
housewives would get it if you were just like, I don't want
No,
Gorga.
I don't think so.
Because
either,
it's
but
like a thing that we came up with. so.
regardless, apparently,
Yeah, tell us about the Gorga.
Joe Gorga took to the Chicks in the Office podcast apparently to discuss the rumors that a drink was thrown at him.
Okay, I did.
At BravoCon.
I
by
heard.
Jennifer Aiden.
Yeah, I heard about that. I saw the video.
Did you see her throwing it?
It was kind of hard to see what was going on.
He said she did throw a drink, but it was at his assistant. It was not him. He was 50 feet away from her, over by his wife, and he was nowhere near her. And she claims that he called her like all
that's
sorts
what
of
I saw. I saw the videos of them
derogatory
mocking
names and stuff like that. And he
even Melissa, I think, was in on it. Like she was saying stuff. To
I
her
don't know. That's what they were saying, but they say she likes. He emphatically is denying it. He said that she likes to, obviously make stuff up just for the drama of it. So, I mean, I feel like to go on a podcast and actually say you didn't do it, it's pretty ballsy if you did do it, because someone's going to have there's a potential that somebody could have.
To see.
That's what I'm saying. Somebody could have a phone out that you didn't know they had out. So do you really ever want to go there?
The clip that it looks like that I kind of saw, and I think I saw the
she
beginning
definitely
of it.
She definitely threw a drink. That is.
It was like it looked like it was somebody like in their pocket, like they had their hand in their pocket, filming it out of their pocket. So it was definitely something where you were not like realizing.
But you just
were being
never
filmed.
want to take the chance that somebody caught it somewhere of you saying something. So I feel like he must be telling the truth, because to say that, but I mean, they do have such a tumultuous relationship where he's called her names, she's called him names, so it would be really weird to say it's not true. So it would be a good thing for her to go on.
It's probably partially true to some extent.
I'm sure they had words, but I don't know. I'd like to think he was smarter than to do that with this fool, because she I just clicked on the wrong tab, because she definitely will take it to the wrong place. But your turn.
All right, well, there's a little rumored news on the season 4 casting of Ultimate Girls Trip. So supposedly it's going to be Dolores and Marge from
They haven't
New
even
Jersey.
had 3 yet, and they're already casting for 4. How amazing.
Garcelle and Sutton from Beverly Hills. Emily and Gina from OC, and Giselle and Robin from Potomac.
All right, so what they seem like they're doing is taking 2 from each show.
Like
I think
a group,
that's
a
interesting.
friend.
I think that's interesting because I think it'll work better a little bit because everybody has an ally, and it always works better with it. Or somebody you could turn their ally on them, and it could be interesting.
Yeah, I think that's why. I think the second one worked better. I mean, the first one, here's the thing. That was like a test run.
Yeah.
The second one, I think, worked better. It gave you drama, but they had fun still. And there was people that
Are they going to Hong Kong?
Yeah, and they're rumored to be going to Hong Kong in
did
January.
You not say that?
No, I didn't get to say that.
Sorry.
No, it's fine.
That's why she doesn't want me reading her notes.
And yeah, in January, they're going to start
sometimes
filming in January. All right, well, go ahead and take your next one and stop reading my notes.
No, I'm not. I'm sorry. All right, so what do we do?
He's snuggling in.
Good.
He's
snug
fine.
in. All right, so Christina Applegate, which you know from You're Dead to Me, she first became famous as the star in the hit show Married with Children. Did you know that she was on that show? Do you even know that show?
No.
A lot of people from that show that you know, like the dad from Modern Family, Ed. What's his name? Ed something. The cranky one that's married to.
Joe.
Joe, is that what his name
The
is?
character's name is Joe.
Oh, he was the dad on that show. The brother is David Faustino. I know you know him too. From
What's the
different
show
things.
called?
Married with Children. But it was like they were like the trashiest family ever, but it was so funny. They were just so hilarious. But needless to say, so sad for you. She is saying that Dead to Me will be quite possibly and most definitely her last acting role because she has MS.
Yeah,
And
well,
she was
I know there was
during the
issues
show.
with the show. The third season, there's like they had to take some time off filming because of COVID and everything too.
She asked them, she said they were very good to her on the show. Like she would tell them like, not today, I can't get up. I can't even get up and walk around. So they would say, okay, we'll do something different today. And then they actually, she said, took a month off for her. A couple of months off for her to have, like, because she needed to recuperate.
I remember when I was looking into starting, before I even started the show, I was, like, looking to see, like, okay, when are they projected to come back? Just so I could start it and it was closer, like,
which I'm sure probably
to
made
watching
it harder
into it. And I
for them
looked
to...
up and they were like, oh, it's coming back. And then I think the next time I looked it up, they were like, they took some time off for her. And I remember seeing that.
But she said she's not going to be far from Hollywood. She's not leaving. She has a lot of projects in her head. She would like to do the other side of things, like developing projects. She's got a lot of ideas. I love Christina Applegate from that show. And she was on another show, Creating Christina or Being Christina. It was another like comedy show that she did like in between all this stuff. It was funny. And she, I think she like came back as like a ghost or something. It was a funny show. But she, this poor girl like was diagnosed with breast cancer at 36. Like, so she went through all, she went through, I remember when she was just leaving that show that I was talking about, the Being Christina or something like that, when she was diagnosed with the breast cancer. And she went through that whole thing, and then to have MS now, like, Jesus, like that's like, you know, that usually you like to think you only get one big major thing in your life, like, you know, like, you know, you don't get hit with multiple things, but you know, to deal with, because MS is really debilitating, and that's a shame. That's what Selma Blair has. So that's sad. But
all right, well, it's rumored that Heather Dubrow wants out of OC.
Yeah, I saw that
and
coming.
into Beverly Hills.
Mm-hmm. When you mentioned the penthouse situation, I'm like, yeah.
Well, they're saying the rumor is because of Tamra. That she was having issues with Tamra, so she wants out. And she feels like she's also, like, better than the rest of them. Yeah,
I think I could see her in Beverly Hills.
I think she would fit in good.
Yeah. I could see her being, like, a chummy chum with, like, with Kyle for a short stint, and then, I don't know.
I could see her fitting into the Sutton Garcelle kind of group there. I could see her fitting
for sure, because she's like, I could see them. They're very proper. Yeah. And like, although she's not like the South like Sutton, she's very like manners and such. So I could see that. I think
she would fit there. Speaking of Beverly Hills, I'll tie my other piece of news into this. They are not going to probably start filming till late January.
For who?
Beverly Hills. Because they usually start filming kind of now in the winter for Kyle's birthday, right?
I thought so.
Typically. But now here's my thing. Well, I guess late January would work, because if they're going to be filming in January in Hong Kong for the girls' trip, Garcelle and Sutton wouldn't be there. Yeah. But I guess if they go in the beginning of January and they come back for the end, they could start filming in the end. And this would give them enough time to make Heather have a switch, probably be fully done with OC, and bring her on to Beverly Hills. Yeah. I mean, I think it would work. I think it would be a fair trade. They got Taylor.
Maybe they'll bring Vicky back.
Maybe they'll replace her with Vicky.
I don't think so.
Well, let me just say this. I don't know. I saw this like a week or two ago, and I didn't get to mention it. I forgot. But Vicky is marked down as a guest for OC this season. She went on their trip with them, I believe. Really? So she's definitely making a little...
I thought she was adamant about, like, not doing that because she was just like, I'm not a guest, I'm a star, like, you know, player or whatever you want to call her.
What's going to happen is...
I think she knows her place now, though. She knows if she wants to get back, she better play the game.
Well, I think they probably tested her with the girls' trip, and now they're going to test her to see how she runs with the group as a guest.
She hasn't changed.
No, not at all.
So unless you don't want that brand of Vicky back, then you have to, like...
Yeah. But
I'm all about that brand of Vicky. Bring her back.
I know that.
Because she gets Tamara going.
I know that the OC, like, I know after they left, it kind of went downhill and it wasn't working well from what I heard.
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't know, we're rewatching OC I'm watching for the first time. Every Saturday we're posting episodes. But I know that they went downhill when they got that, like, that cast. And it was also COVID for them. But now I heard the last season was better, at least, with Heather.
It was, yeah. It was definitely better. Well, only because you were, like, waiting to see what Heather was going to do.
But I think it will probably definitely be way better now that Tamara's back.
Did you see the thing I sent you about Ramona in the picture with Kathy?
Yeah, I saw that. I did look at it.
Did that look like... it was an Instagram picture of her and Kathy Hilton. I did not think that looked like Ramona at all. I was like, wait, who is... And then I'm like, I knew I saw Ramona, so I wanted to see who, you know, what those two were up to. But I'm like, that doesn't look like her at all. I don't know. I don't know if she's altered her face that much, or it was just the way the picture was, or if she
I think it was the picture was
filter,
low
or
angle.
I don't know what it was.
She never uses good filters.
She did not look like herself. I don't know, but anyway, she has told Page Six exclusively that she will not be returning to the new Legacy show.
Oh, I saw that she was done with Housewives altogether.
Yes, so she's done with the Housewives. However, Bravo also wasn't going to invite her back, and I think she probably found that out. If I know Ramona,
I saw that
and tried to jump the gun to make it look like
you didn't fire me, I quit.
Yeah, I'm not coming back. So, which is fine. That's totally Ramona. I wouldn't expect anything different of her.
Yeah, but, I think I'm good with Ramona not showing up.
I am too, because sometimes I think she gets like
too much trouble.
It's not a fun kind of drama. Like I don't know how to explain it.
The thing with that they did in the last season of New York with the Shabbat. Everybody else was actually trying to take their time, learn and listen, and instead she was trying to stir up unnecessary drama. Like, that's not fun drama. That's just you not paying attention, being ignorant.
The sad part is, so I was listening to Bethany's podcast, Rewives, and she was talking about when they go on trips. Ramona was like, oh yes, we're on a trip, blah blah blah, excited, like all this craziness, like she's genuinely thinks she's going on a vacation, where everybody else is just like, this is pure torture, because you know they know what this is going to entail.
It's always a fight.
And
well, I've never seen a trip that actually has ended well for Housewives.
No, but she goes in, that's why she goes into it like hog wild crazy. But that's why I think she acts like those things. That's the only good thing about her on the show, is that I feel like this is truly exactly what she would be doing. Yep. She wouldn't be doing anything differently than acting a fool, acting crazy. This is
legitimately a camera following her around.
And like she says sometimes things that she probably shouldn't say and stuff. And I think that's what happened here too, is that they caught wind of her trashing. She was on a podcast. She was trashing the Legacy, saying, why would you want to put them on another show? Aren't they the ones that you canceled or told that weren't bringing back, and now you're going to bring them back, and what are you going to call them? The Legacy losers or something like that? Oh yeah, she went on like a whole hog.
Oh my god.
So I think they were like,
well, yeah. Well, then I don't want you on the Legacies.
So I think that's how she
I mean, I think the Legacies is going to work out great. We kind of already talked about this when they announced the new New York cast, but I think they're going to work out fine. All right, well, I'll take it away with my piece.
I'm here.
Freeform has officially released their 25 days of Christmas schedule. You know, I didn't look into it in detail, but I know they already repeat movies halfway.
I was just going to say that. I don't like that. Come on, there's got to be, even if they're janky ones, there's got to be, like, have a janky night or whatever.
Yeah,
like,
play some kind of cheesy, crappy movie.
Like, this is the cheesy week or something. Like, come on.
She's putting chapstick on, by the way.
Oh, I'm sorry. Like, make it the cheesy week, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. There's enough Christmas movies that you could play them. Like, you don't have to play Home Alone 500 times.
And I'm not saying that you can't play them again, but don't make them the star of, like, the 8 o'clock version is what I'm saying. Like,
yeah, don't play it at the same time every time. Yeah.
Because I know
Switch it up
people,
a little bit.
because I'm sure people would miss it and what have you.
Yeah,
and-
put them at different times because not everybody's. If I missed it at the first 8 o'clock, what makes you think I'm going to see it on the second 8 o'clock? And then also, I'll throw this one in because this is also short. Is that Cooper snoring under the blanket?
He's moaning under there, yeah.
Portia Williams and Crystal Minkoff got to voice characters in the Zootopia Plus episode of the Real Rodents of Little Rodentia.
Oh,
They even got little taglines and everything too.
That's cute.
Crystal posted the little taglines on her Instagram if you want to see it, but I think the shorts are like 10 minutes, so you can just go and watch them.
That's cute.
I do plan on it, but I didn't get a chance to. All right, go ahead.
Also, speaking of the Housewives,
Don't worry, because I got more housewife news.
well, I have two little things, but they announced the Legacy Housewives.
Is this official? Because what I saw was rumored.
I think this group is kind of official. They're saying the Jill Zarin, the Kelly Ben Simone, Dorinda Medley, Luann de Lesseps, and Sonia. There's two others that they haven't released
named. Yeah,
yet.
I saw that too.
So either they don't know who they are, or Bravo doesn't know who they're picking yet, or they're gonna be even bigger and better.
Like they're a big name that they want to keep.
We're gonna be like, oh yeah. I don't know who it could be though.
Yeah, who would it be that you would really? I think that group right there is good enough to start
Aviva
drama.
Dresser, maybe she likes to stir trouble, but she really had more problems with. No, she had problems with Sonia too. I was gonna say, but Ramona was the real big one. I can't think of who else would really be like.
Yeah, I mean, I think that cast is good enough to start. I think as long as Sonia's there and Dorinda, they'll fight.
The problem, Sonia and Dorinda, yeah.
No, not each other. I think they'll start a fight.
I can't see who would really fight with each other. That's
no,
the
but here's my
problem
thing.
Just
group.
Sonia, and I'm not saying that's what the housewives have to be. Well,
but you need a little bit of a fight.
But I can't see who's
well,
going to.
Here's what I think.
They could get annoyed with Jill, but Jill's very good friends with Luann.
No, I think all that has to happen is Sonia gets drunk, Sonia says things she doesn't mean, and that causes a fight. That's how it happens every season.
Yeah, that's true.
Dorinda?
Oh no, Jill and Dorinda would have a problem.
Yeah, they left on a bad term, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so they would have probably an issue.
That would be interesting.
Yeah.
Alex McCord.
That would be a big one.
Yeah.
That would be a big one, yeah. I mean, but I think they should test it out with that, then add other people and just save it for another season.
I think that's a decent group.
That's enough. I think it's a good one that will just, and I think they will fight. I don't think it will just be like we're watching people hang out and stuff like that. But that was the issue too with the last 2 seasons of New York. It was too much fighting.
But that's the sad part. It's like when now you're rewatching the OC, you realize in the beginning it wasn't meant to be about who's gonna have a fight with who's gonna pick on who.
It was just a vlog, like
it was
a day in
supposed
their
to
life.
be like a day in their life. It was not about who's having issues with who. Yeah. But now that is what it is. Who's gonna have controversy with who.
Yeah.
That's not what the show was intentionally meant to be.
My intention in watching these shows, I want to see these women throw hands. Oh. I do. I want to see them fight. I want a Dance Mom style fight.
Dance Mom.
Yeah, Dance Moms. Yeah, come on.
Yeah.
Those ladies were crazy. But the original set of Dance Moms, I know they started adding more and things like that. But come on, who was really? If you're not slapping Abby Lee Miller with your purse, then I don't want it.
I know.
Come on.
That was good.
Or throwing water on her. Those were really good.
They were good.
All right. I'll combine 2 different ones because they're both December news. Real Housewives of New Jersey is... Why did I say... Oh, yeah, no. I put filming. I said start to film in December. I meant to say that they are supposed to be premiering probably in December.
Really?
I think so. Well, yeah. They film in the summer. Or no, wait. No, maybe it's filming. No, it's... Uh-oh.
Where did you get that from?
Instagram.
Oh,
heavens. I can't remember. I wrote filming, but I don't think I meant filming. Because why would they start filming? I think they're supposed to... Oh my god, look at her typing in all capitals.
I know. It's too late.
Let me see if I can find it. I try to save the Instagram post, but sometimes I delete them. So I removed it. Oh wait, I'm sorry. Screw everything. Who the hell cares? I just found another post that says Teresa confirmed that it's supposed to be starting airing February 7th.
Oh, there you go.
Alright, well that's exciting. And then also speaking of a December release, well, this isn't a correct December release. Clearly I was not right with the other one. Pardon me. Gossip Girl will return to HBO Max on December 1st.
The
reboot. Did you watch that? I thought you said you might have.
I never finished because it was just, I don't know, wasn't
for you?
It wasn't what it should be, I mean, gotta be honest, so.
Alright, well you can take it away with
I was
your
a little disappointed.
news. I don't watch Gossip Girl, so.
Unless Ed was coming back. Chuck Bass, please bring him back. He said he'll come if you ask. So, I told you The only one that could bring all of the cast back together is Kenny Ortega. He got Vanessa Hudgens, Corbin Bleu, Lucas Grable,
Gable? I don't know. Whatever.
Bart Johnson, and Drew Seeley all back together for the Back to the Musical World 2 convention in Paris. They were all there together.
Yeah, I saw the photos.
Yeah. That was cute.
Yeah.
Told you. I knew Kenny Ortega, 72 years old, choreographer.
Oh, God, 72?
Yep, probably still dancing around like a fool. Yep, he got them all back together for a convention. So imagine if he asked them to do a damn show.
Yeah.
I mean, well, convention's one day, so you can, and who doesn't want to meet in Paris? But I'm just saying,
Yeah, all you have to do is stand, take pictures, sign a couple things.
Yeah,
and
I think he
get
probably,
money.
Yeah, I think he probably could get them though. I think he could get them.
I think he could get them, and listen, Disney could probably pay way more than that convention could.
Yeah, but
That's
too
Disney.
Too many of these Disney stars are hating.
I know.
So, I mean,
there was something that I was
we
gonna say,
just watched the Selena.
Selena
and
that
she was really.
You were like, don't say that about Wizards.
Yeah, she was even hating on Wizards, which I understand, but come on now.
I mean, yeah. I'm still putting out there. Listen, Disney, Nickelodeon stars, team up, put out a documentary exposing it all. Break those NDAs. Let's go. I'd watch it. Now this one is, I guess, more actor news, and I don't think you're gonna believe it when I tell you. Rainn Wilson, who is best known as Dwight Schrute from The Office, has legally changed his name to Rainfall Heat Wave Extreme Winter Wilson to draw attention to climate change.
Good for him, but that's a little much.
Interesting, yeah. I mean, we just changed our names. I feel foolish now that we didn't do that.
Man.
Also, like, here's the thing. Like we just said, we've changed our names, and you saw what we have to go through.
Wait, what was his name again?
Rainn Wilson. So now it's Rainfall. He spelled it rain, but the same way, but he added fall. And then in the middle, he put Heat Wave Extreme Winter Wilson.
That's going to be long on your license, my friend.
Right? I mean, listen, it's a whole shebang to get your name changed.
But,
So,
those are probably considered middle names, so he probably could leave them off and just be Rainfall Wilson.
Yeah, but still, best of luck.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
It's a process, and that'll be discussed somewhere else at a later date.
Yeah. All right, go ahead, take your next piece of news.
So Bethany Frankel has a new podcast, like I mentioned last week, Three Wives. I took a listen, not gonna lie, to the first episode. She did it with Emily Moss, the girl from Handmaid's Tale. She said her premise is that she wants to do it with intelligent people, to show that, like, there is actual information that can come from the Real Housewives shows, that it's not just like, all frou-frou and fights and such. But she did this podcast because her fiance Paul told her everybody's commenting on the things that have happened, and they really just want to hear your opinion about it instead of guessing what you have to say about it, so you should just do it. So she did. She went back and did it. But I will say, I thought she was going to be meaner. I thought she was going to be nastier, because I do like Bethany, but I know she has a tongue. She wasn't as mean and nasty as I thought she was.
Yeah, but maybe it's just because this was the first episode.
It was the first one, so who's to say? But she was very, very honest. I will say that. She gave a lot of insight, like I was telling you, like interesting stuff, like on how the show's filmed, and how, like, when they come together in the very beginning before the show starts, like, they sit all of the housewives down and they ask them, like, so what do you have upcoming, for the next 6 months? Or is there something that you're looking to promote or tie into the show or something? So if you have something, like with the situation with the Kathy Hilton, she probably did go into it saying, yeah, I want to promote my tequila, so when can I do that? Like, could I, do it here, do it there, whatever? And they allow it. So they definitely allow it, because she made it sound like they definitely allow it and whatever. And they also will do things like where she was discussing Scary Island. That was her, the show that they rewatched. And she said that when she was having the fight with Kelly Bensimon, and Kelly Bensimon kept saying that she was a cook and not a chef. Look what this bracelet does to me, makes a black mark. That she was a cook and not a chef. The next logical thing that the producers were obviously going to have her do was her contribution to the trip was that she was going to cook the next night for them, just to, like, drive it home, which really drove Kelly Bensimon home, clearly. Yeah. So it makes you wonder, do they really know that? Because, like, they really pushed it, like, seriously far. But like, because that's what she was bringing up, how Kelly Bensimon cried on the first night that she got there, and she saw the bag of Skinny Girl products that she had put in everybody's room as, like, a little gift bag. And she said, I think she realized that I was actually promoting my stuff, which is something we're allowed to do. And something that they all go into it knowing somebody's promoting something. Maybe you're not. Maybe you have nothing to promote.
Yeah,
but
if you don't have
at
anything
some
to promote,
stages of the game, you may have something you want to promote. So it's very interesting, very informative. She was also, there was a couple of little things where she talked about how Alex McCord and Sonia were going to get fired and how she saved both of them from getting fired. And a lot of it makes sense now because there was the episode where she told, when she was pregnant, where she told Alex to go to Jill and tell her we're done. You're not friends. Bethany said you're not friends anymore and you're done. And it was like a weird, like, why did you go and do that? And she said she gave her that to start basically controversy so that she would stay on the show, and it built her a whole storyline. And she did something similar like that with Sonia. But it's very interesting, like how, like, I think we're gonna find out a lot of behind the scenes, perhaps, which I like that kind of stuff because, you know, especially rewatching like the OC, it's like interesting to see, you know. Yeah. But yeah, that's that.
Alrighty.
I'd give it a listen. It sounds interesting.
How many pieces do you have left?
2.
Okay, so I'll double up here. Don't you look at my notes. Stare at the mic. Studio Ghibli and Lucasfilms have collaborated to create a hand-drawn short called Zen, Grogu, and Just Bunnies, which we watched it yesterday. Let me tell you, when I started putting this down, I put Studio Ghibli and Lucasfilms are planning to collaborate. Then I put they're planning to collaborate and do something with Grogu. And then it ended up that this film came out like in 3 days. It just progressively there it was all of a sudden. Yeah, it was just something cute, something simple.
Yeah, it was a cute little drawing.
Yeah, I don't know if maybe it's just like a thing to see.
Lost my interest in 2.5 seconds, but that's just me. As I get older, I have less attention span.
We could see that because you were talking about Bethany. And you're like, oh my god, look what my bracelet's doing to my wrist.
Well, no,
I know, but I'm just saying, how did you that quickly?
I don't know. It's just a
problem. All right.
I forgot to plug the laptop back in.
Oh Jesus,
there's a problem. Okay, I'm okay.
Are you?
Yeah, you're doubling up.
Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse will introduce Daniel Kaluuya as Spider-Punk, Issa Rae as Spider-Woman, and Oscar Isaac as Spider-Man 2099, which we already knew about the Oscar Isaac one, but we didn't know. I don't think we knew about Spider-Woman.
Didn't know about any of them.
Well, Oscar Isaac's character was in the post-credit scene of Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse in the first movie, but this is for the sequel now, which was supposed to come out.
I watched that, didn't I?
Yeah, you did.
Why don't I remember seeing him? Who was he? Where was he?
He was at the very end. He's the whole blue Spider-Man. He's got the red on him. It's alright. Just wait for the other movie to come out. We'll figure it out then. Alright, go ahead.
So I'm very excited to see Lindsay Lohan's Falling Into Christmas. It's on Netflix now, as we've stated in the past.
I probably should have done 3.
But
whatever,
it's fine. Just finish it up. But the most exciting part is that they're saying there's a couple of different little nods to Mean Girls in there. So that's why I'm excited to see. Like they've given it a couple little
there was something on TikTok I saw. I can't remember which clip it was, but I think it was Jimmy Fallon. He had her like reenact a clip for one of her like movies and stuff.
Oh, and she will. That's what I like about Lindsay Lohan. She is not one of those people that are like, oh, I don't want to be associated with that anymore. Like she has no problem.
Might as well. Like it's gonna. That's where you're gonna make your money. But that's where everybody's making money now, based on your nostalgia. Do it.
But that's what I'm saying. Like these films all got you where you are. So why would you hate on them?
Yeah.
Like I understand if like with the Disney stuff. That
there was stuff going on.
The people behind the scene was not appropriate, but the show itself and the acting you did is what got you where you got. Like, I mean, nobody made Selena good on Wizards.
No,
she
did. She just played Alex that good.
She played Alex that good. So, like, I understand. Like,
Cooper's waking up. He's here. Good morning, Cooper.
The sad part is you say good morning, Cooper, but do you know how many times he's woken up then? Because it's quite a few.
Well. Good morning, Cooper.
Pooper Scooper, come here.
All right, was that all you had?
I have just one small little tip.
No, I'm just saying on the Lindsay Lohan is saying.
Oh, yeah, that was it. Just a little throw out.
Eric Andre, and I'm going to go with Sashir Zamata.
She won't let me look at her notes, so I can't help you.
Sashir Zamata.
I would say.
I'm going to go with that. I apologize if I pronounce it wrong. Have also been cast in Agatha Coven of Chaos. I feel like every weekend we're getting a new announcement. What the hell was that?
I was going to say every weekend you really
I feel like I'm, which to me means we're getting so close and ready to film the show.
Because they know who's going to be on it.
Yeah, like they know if this is the cast, they know what they're doing. That means the show's probably written and they're casting for these characters now.
Exciting.
Which I can't wait. Obviously, we'll be covering it. All right.
Yeah.
Oh, well, let me go again. Because,
just go again.
Yeah. All right, so the synopsis for The Acolyte, which is a Star Wars show, has been released. A former Padawan reunites with her Jedi Master to investigate a series of crimes, but the forces they confront are more sinister than they ever anticipated.
Ooh.
I think the show's going to be good. I did see the cast, but I don't know a lot of people from the cast. But it's a Star Wars show, so of course we'll watch it. Mm-hmm. You know?
Okay, my last one, small little throw out there. Like I said, I do love a good reality dating show more than I even love Housewives.
You were looking on Netflix yesterday, and she's like, "Oh look, what was it? Love is Blind Brazil, Love is Blind Japan."
Oh yeah.
And she's like, "I'm gonna watch
for the Love Never Lies," and that was also Brazil.
She'll watch it all.
Yeah, I love a good dating show. But Too Hot to Handle is one of my faves. It is the kookiest, craziest one, and it comes back December 7th. They're going to do 5 of the first 5 episodes, and then the second 5 are going to be on December 14th. And they've got Mario Lopez involved now because the show has become so well known that, because I think this is season 3 or 4, I forget which one it is. It might be 3. Yeah, it's 3. Oh no, I'm lying. It's 4. There's 3. There was 3 before this. It's so funny. They bring these they bring these people together, not couples. They just bring them together and they let them think that they're going on like a hedonistic, crazy like retreat, and it's going to be like a show. They're going to film it like This Is Wild Love, that they call the show, but it's not really. And they're saying Mario Lopez is hosting it, so they actually went to get like someone famous so that people would believe that it's like a legitimate show. And they bring these people on, and then they tell them that they are not allowed to, there's no intimacy, no kissing, no nothing. You can hug, that's it. Like, you can't have any kind of personal contact with anybody. And if you do, so like if you were to kiss somebody, money gets deducted from the pot. Like, so say they start with, it all depends. I think the pot has been like $1 million at one point, then it was $500,000 or something like that. So you will get money deducted, and the worst part is like nobody knows like who is doing it always, like who's the person. So you're gonna kind of like, but couples get together, and then before you know it, it's like, oh, so it's just a crazy show. But I love it. I think it's hilarious. So,
alrighty, my last 2 pieces. Then we got to spin that damn wheel. One more housewife news. The first 3 episodes of The Real Housewives of Durban is currently available to stream on Peacock and will air on Fridays on Bravo.
Where is it? Durban.
That was my fault. Bad.
Or Durban.
Sorry. All right, we know I can't pronounce it.
It's gonna be on Bravo.
Yeah. So I think this is already one that might be airing similar to that one that you told me about, which I looked it up. Oh, where did I save that? Oh, I can't remember. There are so many international housewives that we don't even know or see.
Crazy.
And I think with Peacock, they should work on getting these guys over. I mean, listen, I know there will be people that will definitely watch it with subtitles and things like that.
She's talking about me.
No, you're watching it with dubbing.
Yeah, I do.
But I'd read a subtitle. I don't really care.
Look, it counts as reading, right?
It does.
I mean, yeah.
All right, last piece of news. Sandra Oh has been cast in HBO Max's limited series, The Sympathizer, an espionage thriller that follows a communist spy in the final days of the Vietnam War.
I love a good limited series. I'm not going to lie, because you got to know when to call it quits. Yeah. Like, The Watcher, season 2, come on. How is that even a season 2?
Yeah.
I mean, how is it even? And,
yeah.
And my nephew who loves it is like, oh yeah, I can't wait. What?
Because they didn't reveal who the Watcher was, and he said that's because they never found out in real life, but I heard that it was based on 2 different stories that they combined it into one, so they do technically know who did it or something like that.
I don't know. I think it's
House burned down and a house fire. I don't know, something. I'll probably watch this. It's got Sandra Oh. I'll give it a chance. But it's casting, so I don't even think it's ready yet, but a limited series is always good. All right. What is on this wheel this week? Let's see. All right, so here's what we got on the wheel this week. Your least favorite Hulu original show. Your favorite Netflix original show. Why didn't I watch this show sooner? This movie deserved a trilogy. Your favorite animal movie, can be animated or a real life. Why didn't I watch this movie sooner? an actor who played the character a little bit too well. And here's this one, your favorite one that you'd love to make fun of every time I read it to you. I won with this endgame. Basically a ship that was canon at the end of the show. And you were like, whew, I feel like a winner with this one. Steal their suit. This would be a hero. And if this show could be a video game. All right, let's spin that wheel. Let's see if we'll play a sound.
It's the wheel of watching.
Why didn't I watch this show sooner? I have to find it, and let me make sure I mark it today.
I have nothing for that.
Okay, we'll spin again.
No.
We can.
I can think of something while you go.
Okay.
I'm sure there's something that I would like.
I mean, do you want to? We can weigh our options, but I'll just. I mean, I picked Modern Family.
That is a good one.
Because as somebody who loves sitcoms, I regret waiting till it was basically off the air to watch. I would have loved to see that like on.
I really put that off too. Yeah. Shoot.
That's my pick, definitely. Like, why did I take so long to get into that? I mean, I'm sure there's like a bunch of other shows, but that one specifically, because it was like when we watched it, we both left going, oh my god, even the pilot was funny, which is so rare for an actual good pilot.
I might have to agree with that on that one because,
like,
I can't think of anything else that would have been like
there's shows that I'm watching, I'm like, oh, I'm glad I started this. Like Kung Fu. Like, I took a while to get into Kung Fu, but, you know, I'm just saying that.
Maybe The Big Bang Theory might be one of mine that I'm sorry I didn't watch when it first came on, but no, I would probably have to say that one too. The
Modern Family.
Yeah,
I just feel like it's really good. I highly recommend that one.
Yeah, I can't think of anything else. They were just funny.
Like, there are shows that I took a while to get into, but like
we'd sit and watch that and like.
Oh, we watched it for hours on end, but we were like, oh crap, we got to go to bed.
Yeah. I mean, when you find a show like that, then you know there are. You know.
And like to the point where like we didn't even realize what seasons we were on because we were just going right through them.
Maybe Grey's Anatomy for me too, because Grey's Anatomy. I mean, don't get me wrong, not the new ones, but the old originals. Like, I never really got into them, and when I watched those were ones that like, yeah, man, I could just keep watching. But I agree. And Vampire Diaries was another one.
Well, I won't agree with that one.
I know you don't like them, but I did.
I don't know. I fell asleep on the couch way too many times watching that show for me to ever be allowed. If I fall asleep during an episode of a show, that's not good. And I woke up and I still knew what was going on. That's not good. But that was back when there was like 22 episodes in a season, and like the one like story arc could span for like 6 episodes. And you could wake up and you would know what was going on.
Yeah,
it's like how you said Stranger Things. You kind of could skip it and you knew what was going on.
See, if I liked Stranger Things, that would have been the one because I really put that off.
You wait till season 4 until it announced that it was getting canceled. Yeah. Basically. All right, let's talk about what we watched this week.
Alrighty.
Well, you get yours up. I'll say mine. I watched Kung Fu episode 6. Warrior Nun season 2.
It's back, folks.
And I think it's much better than season 1. And Rutherford Falls season 1. I did watch Rutherford Falls season 2, but I didn't get to finish because I made a detailed schedule of how I could fit everything in. But in the end, I got distracted, and then we didn't get home till on Friday night till 9 o'clock. So, you know, I didn't get time to catch up and watch it. So I'm just gonna put Rutherford Falls season 2 to next week. And no Abbott this week. They were on a break. So sad.
Interesting.
Yeah. I guess it's just span out the episodes better because I think they're gonna have a Christmas one.
Kardashians, obviously, Dancing with the Stars,
Woo!
Love Is Blind 3, the finales and the reunion, and Manifest, the whole season.
So you got 4.
Yeah, but they're all small. And Dancing with the Stars, just like,
well, I know.
Yeah, so 3 technically.
I also was planning on doing Blockbuster. But I prioritized Warrior Nun and Rutherford Falls over that because I heard that some people were like, oh, the first episode's really good. And then it just progressively gets worse. So I'm going to give it a shot. But I already have a comedy show going this week. So like a full one of comedy. So I figured, let me do Warrior Nun. It will shake it up a little bit. And I want to watch it early in the beginning. It's better to watch the shows when they first come out. Better chance of a Netflix renewal.
Yep.
Who wants to go first?
I'll go with the Kardashians.
Okay.
Because this week was Marilyn Monroe and the Met Gala.
Oh, yes.
Well, to be honest with you, talk about somebody dragging a show out. I mean, I will watch these guys do just about anything, the Kardashians. However, they are really dragging this. This is episode 3 of the Met Gala. No lie.
Episode 3? I think you just first talked
about
it
No,
last
I mean,
week.
like, 1, 2, they've done 3 episodes with just dealing with the Met Gala, is what I'm saying. Yeah, no, this is like 5 or something like that. But they've been dealing with the Met Gala in some capacity for almost like 3 episodes now. It's like crazy. Well, actually, I'm sorry. 2 episodes, and then the next week they're going to the actual Met Gala, I'm assuming, because they haven't even gotten there truly yet.
I mean, I guess, yeah, you have to prepare and pick out the clothes and everything.
It's like, I don't know how they're doing it, but yes, they are stretching it and making it work. But, I mean, it kind of started with, once again, Kim, is still trying to get into that damn Marilyn Monroe dress. When it left, it didn't fit, so they were not going to let her try it on.
The test dress didn't fit.
Yeah, well, no, I'm sorry. She couldn't get into the Marilyn dress. So she said to them, please, I will do anything. I will, pay anything, whatever. So she called her mother, the superstar that she is, and whatever she did, she got her in there to try that dress on one more time. Because in the meantime, from the time she tried it on till now, she was exercising like a fiend, and she got herself down 10 pounds and thought she should probably be able to fit it, and she wanted to give it another try. Because if she didn't fit it, she wasn't going to the Met, she said, because this was how she wanted to go. So she said somehow Kris Jenner got on that phone. She got a second chance to go down and try that dress on. So she was sitting there, she said, telling her mother, like, I'll do this, tell him I'll do that. And Kris Jenner, she said, her mother put the phone down and said, shut up. And Kris Jenner said, which is what I think of when we call customer service, Kris Jenner said, if you are getting a no, then you're not talking to the right person. If the answer is a no, you're not talking to the right person. So then you move to the next person, which is what we do with customer service.
Yeah.
So she got a chance to go down there, try the dress on. It was very close. Like, they had to wear the gloves, the whole bit. No one could anything. She did get the dress up enough that when she was showing the pictures last time of how the dress was in the back.
Yeah.
Sorry, of how the dress was in the back. It wasn't exactly closed. No, it wasn't closed. It was on purpose. The way it looked like it ripped, it wasn't. They left it opened and they tied it.
Well, so what I was showing was there was rips. The jewels were had pulled and ripped.
I don't know. It didn't seem like that. She said, well, no, I don't know, because here's the thing.
That was after she wore it to the Met Gala. It ripped.
No, but here's the thing. It might not have been the actual dress, because what happened was she said it's a lot of work for a small window of time. And I'm thinking, a small window of time? What the hell are you talking about? She was not. She was going to pull up. She pulls up to the Met Gala. There's going to be like a changing station on the streets of New York where she will change into this dress. She can't, because she can't sit in it. No one can touch her, because if they touch her, the oils will get on the dress
and ruin it.
So it's very, very particular. Like, I think I don't know if she wore gloves, but I know like her arms could not touch the dress because of the oils.
She had
and
a
stuff.
coat over it though.
Well, she wore a stole to cover the back.
That was opened.
That was undone here. But she said they were going to dress her at the Met there, and then she'd go up the stairs and she'd walk the red carpet. And when she got inside, there was a duplicate dress, the one I guess that she tried on, that she was going to put on to sit down and eat dinner and such, because that was it. Like, she couldn't. So it was literally, she said,
so why not just wear the duplicate dress the whole time?
I don't know. 10 minutes in the dress. Because why take this dress out and take the chance that it's going to get ruined?
Right?
Because I thought she had the dress on the whole time, but meanwhile, it was a duplicate dress that she had no problem telling people that she would wear a duplicate dress. But she said if it rips or if she loses a bead, she'll have to pay millions. So that's why, to me, that's not,
take the chance?
It's not worth it.
Just make your own duplicate that will actually fit you and feel comfortable.
They had a duplicate dress that they said was stretchy that she tried on initially, which looked exactly like it.
I know, but why not just wear that the whole night?
You got me. I have no idea. So that was her whole thing.
Well, I know she got the oldest daughter, Michael Jackson's jacket and hat that still had his makeup on it. And she was flaunting, and she was like flaunting around that it still had his makeup on the hat. And I was like,
that's creepy.
That's kind of weird.
Because he's dead now, so that's creepy.
Like, stop taking like dead people's like clothes and things.
Weird.
Like, go leave it in something. Like, your kid does not need that hat.
No, that's very weird. I don't know.
I don't like that. To me, it's creepy.
So now, because all the sisters are going, Chloe decides to go to the Met. So she is going there with Kim and Chris, Kylie, and her all go to and Kim, they all go to no, not Kim, I think just those three fly Air Kylie to get there. Chloe's wearing this beautiful gold dress that looks very much like a movie star. It's got like little hang. It almost looks like what her sister's wearing, but in gold, kind of. But she's still worried about the red carpet and the trial with Black China because apparently she's taking them for a lot of money over the whatever the show was, Robin China Get Married or In Love or whatever it was. She's trying to say that it was because of them that they didn't get a second season. But meanwhile, Rob and her weren't together, so how are you having a second season?
Yeah, like, that doesn't really make any sense.
Because the show, it wasn't just like watching them parent, like it was in love, like that. I think the show was like Robin China in Love or something like that. So like
one of those.
How
like,
are you?
Was it like Ice-T Loves Coco? Or
yeah,
something
like how are you having
that?
a show like that? So I don't know.
know.
It was very interesting. I think they won the lawsuit in the end, but it was crazy. Oh, this was interesting too, random, like, because Kylie doesn't show too much, but when she was trying on her dress that she was wearing, Kim comes in because, and this was the other thing that was stupid. Kim, instead of just wearing a wig for the one evening, she dyed her long ass hair platinum blonde for this dress. Why wouldn't you just wear a Marilyn wig?
I don't
like
know.
a good Marilyn wig. If you got the money, get a
good
good Marilyn wig. Why are you dyeing your hair platinum blonde for one day? And talking about how you're probably going to wreck it, and not to mention they show her dyeing it. She's dyeing it in the bathroom stall where like they don't have like the proper stuff to do it. So she's like sitting in the stall with her head flipped over, and the girl's like washing her hair out. Like
What
it was
the hell?
It was so stupid. Yeah, it was so that I'm like, why are you even doing this, Kim? I'm like, it doesn't. None of it. I'm not impressed by it. Didn't make any sense to me. Whatever. But she is taking a picture of Kylie on her phone, and she comments on it that Kylie has 1,600 text messages, and she's like, that's ridiculous. She goes, I can't have more than 5, and you have 1,600 on your phone.
That's like you with the emails. You have
but
like
these
1,000
are text messages.
No, I know.
You got 1,600 people text messaging
Probably.
you? But
Yeah,
oh,
but it doesn't have to be
it could be one
person.
person.
It could be
multiple times. Yeah,
if you're in
that's
a
true.
group chat, think about just us. It's us and
I
Dean
know.
in a group chat, and you can get 20 just between me and Dean
That's
talking.
true.
So
That is true. I think I have 28 right now, which is a lot for me.
I don't let no little red dots ping on my phone. I hate them.
Yeah, I don't like it either.
I'll tell you right now. My emails, they are always open and checked. I check my email. I don't play around with that
check
stuff.
my emails, but I get a lot of
Don't-
trash.
But as soon as one comes in, delete. Let's see. How many emails do you have?
2,636.
Oh, you're serious?
I only have one text message.
I'll tell you right now.
I have 24 on my work one. So I keep
0
that one.
text. Oh, I got 4 emails. And 1, 2, 3, delete. Now I got 0. Just like that.
That would be nice. I wished I could, but I can't. So
You got to catch up with them. Give me
Yeah.
that phone. I'll clean them out real quick.
No, you will not, because you don't even know what you're cleaning out. So Courtney and Travis are in Milan, and like I said last week, they're doing all their clothing fittings with Prada, and they go to this church to see like it's like a beautiful cathedral, but the cameras won't let them in. But they're very odd, where they like try to like do I don't know. They're an odd couple. They're cute, but they're odd. She goes to try on her actual wedding dress, which again, as most people have already seen this dress at this point, it's like a weird corset with like an underwear
I've never
bottom
seen it.
and like a see-through lace skirt, but then yet it
I'm
has
excited.
this long veil that's like,
For her wedding. Because I know she gave out weird portions of food. Like, someone said they gave her like minuscule portions of like
who,
pasta.
Courtney? Yeah, I don't know.
Like really tiny. Like if you
Well, they
picked
were
up
just-
tongs and you just put like a
I
little
don't know.
bit.
They
like,
were discussing the where they're having it, and I don't know. The Domenico Dolce is who they were talking about, where the wedding was going to be and stuff, and the food and this and that. And like he almost was like, he was saying basically like this guy, oh, you need to let any food restrictions go for the evening, blah blah blah. And Courtney was like, well, no, Travis is vegan.
Oh, wait, is he?
And oh yeah, no, he's vegan. Yeah,
Oh,
big
wow.
time vegan, and she's mostly vegan because of him. Like I think she eats I think she eats vegan for the most part, but he's very vegan and very
wow, I
conscious
didn't know
of
that.
yeah, he's very animal all that
They
stuff.
had pasta is what I saw. It was like a little serving of pasta. But like if you, thank God I knew he was vegan. I was gonna say if you had the money, how you're saying with her and the wig and the making of the dress, like if I went to a Kardashian wedding, I'd expect like a whole damn like a T-bone steak, like the full
I
big
know.
thing. Like you would
No,
expect
you would
that you
just
would go there and you'd be like big portions, nice
No, I know.
quantity of food.
But the funny thing
Ow.
is when they went in to do this whole, you okay there?
Yeah, I have like a tiny little pimple on my nose. I poked it. It's making my eyes water now. Wow.
When they went in to like do this whole thing with the trying on the clothes, it's like so weird how things are done in Italy. Very different than here, because there's like a person like playing a piano, and there's like an opera singer kind of singing, and Like, it's just like very... It's,
in the wedding triangle?
No. In the wedding triangle. But it's like a big elaborate room, and it's very like...
And it also is the Kardashians. I wonder if like a random Italian person would that be?
I think it's like Italy too. Like it's very, But
well,
it was
as Vicky Gundelson said, they work 4 months out of the year, 8 months are vacation. So
yeah, so there you go.
So there you go. That's why they're always so.
They're so excited. Yeah.
Huzzah.
So next week they're gonna do the Met. Actually, I think going to the Met Gala because these two were on their way to the Met Gala, and they're like, I don't know, they're
going to the Met Gala too.
They're going to the Met Gala. She's supposed to be like. He's supposed to be very sophisticatedly dressed and very clean, and she's supposed to be the unstructured, more, I don't know. Well, their outfits were weird, but those two, I just couldn't figure it out. So to be continued next week at the Met Gala because it's going to take forever.
All right. Possibly. It's like an Andor story arc. All right, so Kung Fu, episode 6. I think it's titled Rescue. I could have read it wrong. I'm just going to say this before I even get into the story arcs because you guys know I only do Nikki's story arc. The father, do you guys remember? Back then I said the father, I know he's going to run for a place in government. He is. I called it. I was worried because he started working with another guy to be a part of his campaign. And I was like, I think this is going to be like his like government city working story arc. No, the guy ended up kind of like not following what he thought, and the dad was like, you know what, I could be that person for the town. I'm gonna run for, is it mayor or city council? One of those, I can't remember.
Oh yeah, there's both.
But I can't remember.
The mayor is the one that's in charge of everything.
I think he's running for city council. I can't remember what he was saying, but either way, I guessed it right. I put my prediction in, so go back to figure out whatever episode that is, and you can hear me be right. As for Nikki, she finally tells Bo who she is, and he kind of like accepts it that, she's got the whole magic lineage and all that. So they find out that they believe Yu Jin is the one who is killing the warriors and the guardians with the special blade that I was talking about, which I think is in the intro. And in the hilt of the blade is where it's storing the souls of the warriors and guardians. And Nikki wants to use Henry because he has the compass or whatever in him now to get to this other world where Gianna is. So she goes into this other world and she ends up meeting Gianna and she gets her to come back to their world with her. And Pei-Ling sees that Gianna's alive and they're like, oh yay, woohoo. And
there's only like so many sentences, but it sounds like you said so much more than that.
Well, because I'm adding a little bit. These are just my notes. Like I am adding a little bit.
Okay.
And they do try to fight the Harvester, but did I forget to write? They said they fight the Harvester and whoopsie. And like my notes section are blank. Whatever. They end up fighting the Harvester. They get back. Everybody knows they're alive. Happy, yay. Now in my thing, I wrote it right here. I wrote this while I was watching the episode that I thought the Harvester, because I was like, it has to be somebody important. So I thought it was going to be a variant of Henry or Bo. Guess what? At the end of the episode, the Harvester takes the mask off. Who is it? It's Bo. Thank you once again. I've predicted the show. I just didn't get to say it ahead of time in this because they announced it while I was typing it out. So.
Well, like I said to you on the phone, I think you do predict those shows pretty well.
Well, they are very predictable. Like, I will say this. When I get into Warrior Nun, one of my biggest things is...
Are they a CW show?
No, they're Netflix. But it wasn't predictable, but I was like, oh, snap. It was like one of those where like, oh, wait, I was not expecting that to happen. CW shows, they follow a format. They kind of get easier to guess. But, they did trick me a little bit. I did think the dad's arc was going to be helping the city council, but I should have followed my gut. I knew it from the start. And that's it, keeping it short and sweet. You can still go watch it. There's still so much that happens. The sister's got her whole own thing. The brother, he's got his whole own thing. His boyfriend is getting fired. Go watch it. It's crazy. Carrie Martin, her plan was to get one of the guys fired because he has a past record. So she kind of did. I think the guy quit or something.
Is she mean on that show?
Not that she's mean. So they have 2 investors and she's the other one. And she's the one that is more looking out for them. But she's like, you have to still follow the guideline from our big company. But she tries, I guess. But, Go, Carrie Martin, go.
Okay.
All right, your next show. And then I got Warrior Nun. Whew. Close down my laptop so it doesn't die too quickly.
Okay, so we have the Dancing with the Stars, which you watched. It was the 90s week.
Woo!
Yeah. So Shangela and Gleb, they danced to the Spice Girls a samba. They got 3 9s and 1 10.
Yeah,
I feel
they
like
did
we
good.
watched this so
long
long
ago because we
ago.
watched it on Monday when it airs. So technically, like, we're gonna watch it like tomorrow, basically,
It's
for
so
them.
hard.
So like while you guys are listening to this,
She
we're
had the little
watching.
space buns, the Nasty Spice. No,
I don't know the Spice Girls' names.
what was her name? Not Angry Spice would wear. I think it was really an Angry Spice. I really don't know. I forget what her name was. Trevor and Emma danced a salsa to Barbie Girl. Of course, they took him and made him into Barbie
and Ken.
Ken. Come on.
They looked like them.
They did, of course. They were
Well, 'cause they're
totally
both, like, blonde
stereotypical.
and blue-eyed.
Yeah. They said he did really well. He
Yeah, he did
got
do good.
2 8s and 2 9s, and he just needs to smooth out his legs for the next dance, which was going to be the samba. They did 2 dances today. It was a double elimination.
They did the rally dance.
Yeah.
Which was in duos or something.
Should have said that one.
It's alright.
Gabby and Val danced the samba. They danced to Ricky Martin, and they got all 10s. Who's shocked? Nobody.
They were good.
They were good. Yeah, I'm not gonna
Yeah.
lie. Daniel and Britt, they danced a jazz number, and they were just pretty incredible. They shut the music off halfway through the performance so that you could get an idea of what it was like for him to dance, where he can't hear the music, obviously. So all the judges were impressed.
I think Carrie Ann might have cried a little bit.
Yeah, I think she did cry. With how and Derek Huff too was, I think, almost
Getting
crying.
a little cry, yeah.
About how he was doing this. They said, Derek Huff said, like, I don't realize how much I like rely on the music, like,
Yeah.
not just like, oh, you're dancing to music, but he's like, I'm very dependent on the music, the beats, to keep my whole thing going. Goes, and the fact that you're doing that without any of it is pretty amazing. So he got 3 10s and a 9. Good job for him.
I thought he was gonna get all 10s, but why are you pointing at Jordan and Brandon? They're off the show.
Yeah, so why are their names there?
But I thought they were gonna get all 10s, but I think
I did too.
Glenn
No,
did. Glenn
Len
gave him a 9.
Len
Len.
gave- Len.
Why'd I call him Glenn? Len gave him a 9.
Gleb? I don't know, maybe you're combining.
Glenn. Well, you know what? He deserves to be called Glenn because he didn't give him a 10.
And of course, Charlie and Mark danced the tango and got all 10s.
They have the shortest thing written there.
Because there's really nothing to say. They just do it perfect, and that's that. They said, she did perfectly. There's nothing even to say anymore about them, because it's just he gives her something to do, and she does it. And the funny thing is, like, see, all right, so I'm going to tie it in with them. So Vinny and Coco, they did the dance. They did the dance. They did the dance.
Well, basically.
They danced to the tango. And I said to you, they just did the dance that I think Charlie came after them. I said, see the dance that Charlie just did? That was so elaborate. There were so many moves.
Yeah, and she did some kind of special tango too. International tango.
But that's what they called it, but I don't think it was anything different, because they were just calling it the tango. But they just did more of the tango, let's just say, in the thing. Like, there was more moves and all like that, because that's who Mark Ballas is. He doesn't just mess around. But he also, I guess, knows what Charlie's capable of, where Coco knows what Vinny's capable of, which is not much.
Yeah, and we found out too that this is Coco's first year doing this. God bless her. Her first year on
some of the
Dance with
first
the
year
Stars.
people, like Whitney Carson, I think she won the first year.
No, but I'm just saying, God, her first year on, she gets Vinny. Like, that's what I mean.
Challenge. The fact that she went this long with him is
I
pretty
know, it's
impressive.
impressive.
So she'll be back next year.
Oh yeah. Oh, sissy, you're so sweet looking.
Isn't she though? Oh my gosh, him too. So they said, of course, he still needs work on his technique. He showed a lot of personality, which was
Yeah,
good.
the personality was him and her telling him the moves. If you watch her mouth,
she's
you can
counting.
see she's counting
Yeah.
or saying, this.
So they got 3 7s and 1 8, which is no surprise. It was just as bad as last week. When you're still getting 7s, and like you said,
You're not even breaking 30.
no, but they're talking about you still need to work on the technique. At this point, you should not be working on technique. It should be refining everything. Like, this is like, you really saw how bad he did when you compared it to what Charlie did right after him. You were like,
And I know Charlie's probably like the best leading the pack.
no, but
even
it was almost like being able to see like what the dance should have looked like, and it was nothing in comparison to what he did. So that's the sad part. But it is what it is.
And the worst part is too, when they go up to give him the scores, they're like, "You made it further than Snooki and Mike. The situation."
Yeah, that was his accomplishment, which I think
But here's
is
my thing.
because they were trying to find something positive to
But
say.
I would love to look at the scores from Snooki and Mike's from the same compare the weeks and see if they did better than.
No, but I think
if they got
Snooki
better.
actually did pretty decently. I think she did pretty good.
Like, I'd like to compare their actual final dance scores and see how well they did.
Mike was as bad as him. Mike was very stiff too.
But I think Mike went home quite early.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, I would love to put those scores next to see and see if they got higher scores than him.
I'm also trying to think.
Or did he just get saved because of fans?
Yes.
Well, we know that.
What I was going to say was, I think when Mike was on the show was also when he was either just coming back from dealing with the whole jail thing, where he went to jail and stuff, or it was like it was right around that time. So I don't know that he had a lot of people that were like in favor of him. Yeah. So I think it could have been that too. That's why I think Vinny's
always been a fan favorite. So.
Yeah, everybody's always. I mean, I liked Vinny because he was just the sweet one of the group. Like, you never felt like he was, he had the whole family thing. Like, he loved to go on home seeing with his mom and whatever. But Wayne and Whitney, they danced the salsa to Boys to Men. They said all the dance moves were technical, and he did like so well, even knowing that he had like a bad knee and all like that.
Yeah, and he was recording 2 other shows, I think they said. Yeah. So like he doesn't have as much time.
All tens.
Yeah, of course.
No shocker there. Heidi and Artem danced a contemporary number. I
didn't like it.
I didn't either. They got 3 9s and 8s. And I think it was Len that said, not every dance is for every person, and he basically said, this is not for you.
No.
I'm sure he was the 8.
The issue is that they said she needed to show more emotion last week, and this
and then
poor
she
girl
tried,
and it was
so
much.
fake.
But the
not
issue
fake,
is,
but it was so forced.
I was telling you too when we were watching it. I kind of felt bad for her because she got put in the bottom twice because of somebody like Vinny, who she's an actually good dancer, and she started. I think also what happened was 2 times in the bottom. She's starting to doubt herself because she was put in the bottom. And she started losing, like, I am a good dancer. Now she's like, I'm bad. I'm in the bottom.
Like, come on now, if you're comparing yourself to Vinny, like, geez Louise, like, that's going to make you be like,
why am I in the bottom and Vinny's not? But you have to take into account that the fan votes are saving
where have you been, lady? You're not, I mean, you just came out of a TV, like, he's been around for years, so he's got a big fan base.
And here's the thing, no offense, if somebody's going to be like, oh, I'm a fan of the D'Amelio family, they're going to vote for Charlie and not the mom. Exactly. So that's the issue.
You might get the moms of the people that are voting for.
Yeah, the kid might be like, "Oh, vote for so and so."
She's like, "No, I'm going to vote for the mom." I wouldn't vote for the mom, but that's just me.
No, you didn't. We vote for Daniel and Trevor every time. Yeah, we split our votes.
So then they had the relay dance where it was like one person came on, and the other person came on. Chandrila and Gleb danced against Daniel and Britt, and they both danced the same dance. They had like 90s. Famous singers that came
performing
live. So they danced to Vanilla Ice, Ice Ice Baby, and they did. I don't know what kind of dance they did.
Samba.
Oh, the cha-cha.
Oh, cha-cha. No, because they did the cha-cha and everybody else did the samba.
Yeah, they did the cha-cha.
That was so weird.
Chandrila won the points.
Yeah.
Vinny and Coco danced against Trevor and Emma. Obviously, you can see a pattern here. They were trying to put like dancers against like dancers, which is fair.
Oh. You should say before this, they sent somebody home, right? Didn't they send somebody home before this, or no?
No, not yet.
Oh, no, they sent them after. Sorry, I thought they sent them over. Sorry.
And this was like where... So, they did the samba. Trevor won.
Obviously. He
did much better, though.
Well, here's the thing, when you watch it, and like that, like how you're saying comparing
is definitely comparison.
You can see it.
And now, like, look, before, you couldn't compare... We did, but you can't really compare Vinny and Coco to Charlie and Mark, because, like we said... light years apart. They're like, he's a 3, she's a 10.
But these came in and they started at the same level.
Yeah, but Trevor and him are kind of at the same level. I mean, Trevor's a little bit better.
No, but I was saying when they walked into the show, they had the same skill level.
I feel so, yeah.
And look at where Trevor is and look at where he is. Not the same.
And then, of course, they put Wayne and Whitney against Heidi and Artem. They also danced the samba. They danced to Salt and Pepper. Wayne won that one as well. And then Gabby and Val danced against Charlie and Mark. They did the samba to Kid and Play, and why don't I have who won?
Oh, Charlie won.
Charlie won.
Yeah.
So then...
Which I think that one was actually quite close, those two.
Yeah, no, I think theirs was quite close. Charlie and Mark won. So then the people that went home were...
Double elimination.
It was a double elimination. So the ones that went home were Vinny and Coco.
Yeah, Vinny and Coco, and then Heidi went home. They did it first, so they brought the first 3 out, and they just said, Heidi, you're going home. And then they had the judges choose between Trevor and Emma, and Vinny and Coco. And nobody, not a single judge picked Vinny. To the point where the three went and they were like, oh, but Len, who would you have picked? And he was like, well, I would have picked Trevor and Emma. And Vinny goes, you can hear him. His mic's kind of low. Yeah, but he goes, I didn't get a single judge. No, you didn't get a single judge. You're not good at dancing. No. They gaslighted you into thinking you were.
It was time. So, I mean, I think it was sad that Heidi went home. But I think, like you said, going forward with her daughter, like, to be... just let her go home so now she could just cheer on her daughter.
Yeah.
Instead of like, you know, the competition between them. It was cute in the beginning, but now it's like, okay, we see who the front runner is.
Yeah.
Like, just let her have the moment because it is going to be her show. So, like, let it go.
Yeah.
That's going to come down to the wire to me between Whitney and Wayne and Charlie and Mark and Gabby and Val. That's going to be, they're going to be the top three.
I feel like Shangela could sneak in there somewhere.
I think she could, but I just don't think she still has the technicality that these guys have. Like, I think she's good, but I just don't think she's quite there. But go ahead. I'm ready. What do we ready? Oh,
Warrior Nun. Or should I do... Or do you want me to do Rutherford Falls first?
No, do this.
I do want to say there is going to be some spoilers for Warrior Nun the whole season. I'm going to try to pull back a little bit, but there are spoilers, so...
Okay.
Timestamps are in the description, so skip ahead if you don't want it.
Do you still do timestamps?
Yeah, I do. I do timestamps only for this episode because, so if somebody wants to jump to a certain episode that we're talking about,
wow,
or skip over it, I still do it. Yeah, come on, I put my work in. You don't know, but I do. So I can start. This is a little bit of news, and I just thought this was weird that this came out exactly as Warrior Nun premiered. That the main actress who plays Ava, Alba Batista, is dating Chris Evans apparently for over a year.
Yes. Oh my God, I saw that. And
she's 25 and he's 41.
And I meant to tell you that I saw that they were dating, and I thought Chris Evans was married, but I think I'm thinking of
Hemsworth.
Yeah, I think I'm thinking of Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah, I saw that and I'm like, that's kind of weird. I think anybody who can have 20 years age gap on somebody where you could have lived your whole life in your 20s. Like, do you think about this? If I was Chris Hemsworth, that means the person I would be dating would be being born right now. That's disgusting to think about. Sorry. But that's just how I think about things.
Huh.
You know, it's kind of weird.
Yeah.
I don't think they'll last. Just my opinion. I don't know anything about them, but I don't think they will.
Okay.
A little recap. I did do season 1 in a prior episode, so you could check that out. But to recap, there's an angel's halo that's put in the back of Ava, who's a non-believer, making her God's champion, aka the Warrior Nun. And she breaks into this temple, frees the archangel Adriel, and Lilith, who's also a sister of the nuns, I guess. She helps her. She ends up getting connected with hell, so she's not part of them anymore. And then there's a scientist that tried to open a gateway to heaven to help her son heal, and he ends up going in the gateway, and that's where the show ends. Now, this picks up 2 months later in Switzerland. Ava's working in a bar with Beatrice, who is another of the sister nuns. And in Spain, they have some of the sisters and, like, the Mother Superium is who they call her, the head of them all, are trying to figure out what to do from the church perspective with this guy Adriel. In Portugal, Father Vincent is there trying to stop Lilith. And we also find out that Mary, who was also from last season, she ended up dying. I don't know if the actress didn't want to come back or anything. I quite liked her character. But this ends up having Lilith go on an absolute killing spree, and it is brutal.
I was just going to say, do you think they're going to kill off Christina Applegate in your show, Dead to Me? Well, no, because if she's not planning on coming back...
No, the show's done. Season 3's last season.
Oh, so they've already
they're already done.
Yeah, but they could have killed her off.
Oh, well, I hope not.
Why?
Because why would you do that?
I don't know. It would just be a dramatic situation. I don't know. Just saying.
I think if anybody, they'd kill Linda Cardellini's character because she's so like a sacrifice, selfless person.
Okay,
that's just my opinion.
Go ahead.
Ava and Beatrice work together with this guy Miguel, and they realize that Adriel is releasing biblical plagues on the world, so that people kind of like believe him because he's gonna then cure these plagues. Then they end up going back to Madrid because they get a message that their sisters are ready to regroup because they were supposed to disperse, die down a little bit. And it ends up getting revealed that Father Vincent is working with Adriel, actually. And they decide that they're going to break into a museum to get this crown that has thorns in it, and this crown will be able to stop Adriel. But in the midst of the break-in, Father Vincent catches them, puts the crown on Ava, which takes away her powers of the halo because... the halo also helps her. She was paralyzed in a car accident, so the halo gives her the power to walk again as well. So put the crown on, she can't walk, basically, because her power shuts off the halo. Miguel is able to catch him, stop Vincent, and the nuns take him in. And we also see Lilith start working with the scientist about this portal, this ark. Well, I call it a portal, but they call it the ark, which will let them get in. And they reveal that Miguel is actually the scientist's son who went in the portal, Michael. I was like,
so that's why he's trying to do it. Obviously.
That's why he's
that's
trying
his
to,
motivation.
That's why the son's helping these girls, because I was like, I was like, who is this guy? He's got to be something. And then when they revealed him as Michael, I was like, because, well, let me say why it was so big. In season 1, the son was like maybe like a young kid, elementary school level. This is a full-grown teenager now, so you didn't realize who he was. And he went by Miguel, so different name. So if I call somebody Miguel and Michael, I'm talking about the same person, but in some of my notes I wrote Miguel, some of them I wrote Michael. So you're just going to have to bear with me on that. Lilith ends up teaming up with Adriel, and she gets like wings. I don't know. She takes a turn, but a good turn. She's kind of like fun to watch, but it's a little like, why does she have wings now? It's one of those things, but yeah. Michael ends up revealing that his and Ava's fate are to die, basically stopping Adriel, and they decide, so they can try to prevent them both dying, that they're going to take the crown back. Well, I think Father Vincent ends up giving the crown, and they're going to put it on Adriel, and then they're going to like entomb him and then send him into that portal and then destroy it, basically, so that they don't have to die. When they do this, it basically turns into utter chaos, and her and Michael go to like, I don't know what they had to do to like kill him, but whatever, they were going to do it, and Beatrice ends up tackling Ava so she doesn't kill herself. And they try one more time after they lost the crown. That time, oh no, I'm sorry. They got the crown the first time. The second time, they lost it again, and then Father Vincent betrays Adriel and gives it back to them. So they go into 3 groups, and they have to destroy a cross this cross that Adriel has, and wherever he's sitting can like diminish the powers of the halo, making it stop working for Ava. So they have to destroy that. They got to destroy the ark, get these nuns that he has kidnapped, and basically kill him as well. And this is the plan they give, but it's not the true plan. The true plan was for Ava and Michael came up with to go and just like, they're going to kill themselves basically to kill him instead of going with this plan to like entomb him. They figure we'll just do that. But once they get there, Beatrice kind of realizes like, what's going on with you? You're not doing what you're saying. And Ava reveals the real plan. She tells her that she's going to sacrifice herself so that Beatrice can live her life. And they kiss. And then Michael ends up dying in the midst of all this. So they can't touch each other to blow up him or whatever. I couldn't figure out what they were talking about that. It was so hard to hear. The air conditioner was on, the dehumidifier was on, children were screaming. And they talk so loud. They have the worst audio mixer I've ever heard. Usually some shows are too loud. This is like, whispering. I couldn't hear a damn thing. I was like, girlies, you gotta speak up. I can't hear you.
Oh, that's it. You gotta watch with headset.
Oh, it's a headset, or you gotta watch in pure, utter silence with the TV up. Because I was like, what's going on? And it was a perfect day. It was a rainy, cloudy day, so I could see the screen, and I had the windows open for the cats, but I still just couldn't hear. So I'd be looking down and be like, oh crap, what'd they just say? I have to look at the subtitles. I have to go back, read the subtitles. It didn't work. Ava decided that the only way to really kill Adriel is to call these things Tarasques or whatever. They're these weird demons. Because she tried to explode Michael. She threw her sword at him, tried to blow him up. She ends up hurting herself by doing that. And the only way that she can be cured is to put her in the ark. So Beatrice sends her off into the ark by herself. The portal closes. That's where it leaves for Ava. And Lilith warns Beatrice that a holy war is coming. And we get a post-credit scene.
Ooh.
Well, you know I love one. And it shows Beatrice has decided to leave the nuns and go on her own way.
So, I have a couple of questions.
Well, I have overall thoughts, but go ahead, ask your questions first. Let me see if
my god, your thoughts are longer than your notes. Holy shit. Before I forget, do they reference God at all?
Yeah.
Like, they actually use the word God?
I don't know if they use the word God. They do. All the titles are actually Bible verses.
Really?
Like, yeah.
I was just wondering if they actually mentioned him, because, I mean, obviously nun and priest are very Catholic situation.
Yeah. I think they might have referred to him as God. I don't know if they definitely reference it, that you know they're talking about God and hell and things like that. And But yeah, no, it's definitely one of those shows where like somebody might be like, "Ooh, Warrior Nun, this sounds interesting." Like somebody was like religious and they walk in and they're like, "Oh God, this is not what I thought at all."
They would.
Well, I would hope you wouldn't, but yeah, it's definitely not like a.
I can't remember what my other question was. Shoot. Maybe it'll come back to me on your
all right,
thoughts.
well, here's my thoughts. One of my things, like I was saying, you couldn't really hear, but overall, the show needs your full attention. There's no look at your phone. You should watch the show, because if you don't, you will probably miss valuable information, which I even feel like I missed valuable information. But I don't hate the show, that I would watch it again to, like, you know, like all in one now with season 1 and season 2. And listen, I don't want to be little kung fu, but the fight scenes, they were amazing. They were so good. I don't know who choreographed these, but they were so good. There's a scene in the first episode where Lilith, I said she went off the rails. Like they had her, they could like flash in and out. So she was like flashing around fighting these people. The end fight scene with Ava and Adriel, also great. There's another great fight scene with Beatrice. They're all really, really good. So I mean, here's the thing. Netflix shows, this was 2 years since the last season actually aired. You know, they had a long time to practice fights and training and all that stuff. For CW, you have to learn them in a week. So it's a different thing. So obviously they're not going to do as well. But I do know that the actual actress who plays Ava, she did most of her own fights, like her own stunts and stuff, because she posted videos of her actually like doing them, and they were like some tricky stuff. So props to her. I did write, though, also, like, unlike Kung Fu, I didn't know where this was going. Like, more in, like, the sense of, like, you could get where the overall thing, but, like, yeah, how I was saying, like, the sun being revealed, Lilith getting these wings and her whole storyline. It's, like, you don't really know where that was going. Also, Ava and Beatrice, I guess they're kind of, well, I don't know if they're dating now, but I will say, I thought from the start of the show they were dating. Guess not. What did I write? I don't know what I wrote. Next line. And I will say, Ava, I think the nice story arc for her is you can see her, season 1, you know, she doesn't believe, she doesn't want anything to do with this, and throughout this season, you can see how she's made close relationships with everybody in the thing. Like, she trusts them, she cares for them, she wants to sacrifice herself now for the better of the world, I would say. So it's definitely better, and significantly more gory. Like, really? Oh my god, like they had one of those, what's that thing where it's like the ball and it's like spiky and it's got like a stick? She takes it, when she hits one of the girls in the eye, like lost half her face. But it grew back in like metal. Don't ask. Okay. But yeah, no, definitely more gory. They just kill people, they don't care, and you know I love that when they will not hold back from the killing. Unless it's a character I like, but then that's a different story. And I am interested to see what this Holy War was going to be, because I watched and I'm like, well, if they kill Adriel now, where are they going with this? Like, it didn't feel like they were wrapping this up to be like, this is the end of season 2, this is the end of the show. I was like, there has to be something more. Yeah. So clearly, whatever this Holy War is going to be, it's going to be the next big thing. So I'm interested to see what that will look like. What sucks is, even if this show does get renewed, they're going to take so long to produce it. Because that was my one thing, too. They would reference things, and I'm like, what are they talking about?
Because it was so long ago.
But here's the thing.
Yeah, I don't like
For other people, this was 2.5 years ago when the first season came out. For me, it was only a few months, and I already was like, uh-oh. And I watched the recap, too, and I was still like...
Yeah, that's how I felt about Manifest. Like, I loved it, but Manifest was like that, where it's full of so many things. Yeah. That I was just like, I actually had to go back and watch two of the episodes, because I was just like, wait, where did this leave off? And looking at the little like thumbnails, I'm like, yeah, I don't remember this, but I'm like, after watching them, I realized I did watch them, but it was like, I definitely need the refresher.
You know, it's like those things where you miss it, where I went on social media and then I saw people being like, oh, like, look, this referenced this, and it was like this from season 1. I was like, oh, cute or whatever, and I was like, well, I didn't get that because, you know, it's been so long. And I will say, I'm kind of worried I don't know if they'll get a season 3, because the actress who played Beatrice said she actually had to go out on her own and request interviews because Netflix was not sending it up to promote this show. Okay. Which is not good. I still think this is a show that you would actually probably quite like, and I probably could have seen you watching this if I didn't watch it first. I mean, I will say it's like gory, but not in the same way.
I was thinking about it like a little bit, that maybe I would think about.
Well, you know what? It would be interesting to see 2 solo watches the same show and see what you came back and saw after. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, now you watch it. They're a little bit long. So overall, I do like Warrior Nun. I'd recommend everybody give it a chance. It is like a slow... it's a slow burn kind of show. Like, even with the relationships with the characters, like I was saying, If and Beatrice, I'm not gonna lie, when I watched season 1, I was like, I could see them getting together. And yeah, but they were doing a slow burn, which is always fun compared to a different one where they're like, just throw them in the relationship and they'll figure it out once they're in the relationship, you know?
Yeah.
Technically, they're still not even dating. The girl's in the portal, so we'll see.
The girl's in the portal.
She is in a portal. Oh, she's in the Ark. I'm sorry, she's in the Ark. It looks like a portal, but they call it the Ark.
All right, Love is Blind. So here we go. So I watched the whole season. We did that last week, but now they had the finals, the weddings, and I'm just gonna pull the other 2 weddings that they did last week also into this. But I had made predictions on who I thought was gonna do what. Zeva and Cole, I really wasn't sure. I wanted them to go the distance, but apparently there was a lot of stuff behind the scenes that she's claiming happens, and that's why it was a no for her at the altar. However, I really thought that they were going to do it. He said I do. She said no. And then she proceeded to just bash him at the altar and say how he disrespected her. He put her down. He made her feel bad about herself. He watched her food. I mean, he was shocked. Her family cheered. And then they all left the room. It was really kind of mean, to be honest with you.
But his family cheered when he said no.
Her family cheered, and then they left right behind her, and it was really weird. And then at the reunion, she said that he would watch her food and he would make comments about her food and what she was eating. He would try to control her eating. He denied everything, and I really kind of believed him, to be honest with you, because I'm like, why would he never made any comments about weight? And I'm sorry, there's no way some TV show is gonna.
They're not gonna not put that in.
They're not gonna be kind to you about that. And the funny thing is, he kept saying, please air the footage of this conversation that they said they had, because she made a comment about they were eating something. I think it was carrots or something. Both of them were eating like carrots, just nibbling on it, like. And they were in the apartment talking about her family and that a lot of her both her parents are deceased, and she has a stepmom that she's very close to. And her new husband, and most of her family is over in London, where her mom was from. So she said that they were talking about the conversation about getting together with the family, and he's like, really? And like listening to him talk about this, like, there's no way he's this fake. He was like, yeah, we should go over there, and we should like have like a ceremony over there too, and like, we can do our little thing here, but then go over there and like have a big thing with your family, and this and the other thing. And then so they're standing there talking, and they're eating these carrots, and she makes a comment about eating. She goes to grab these little clementines. Now, the way she tells the story is that she went to get the 2 clementines. Now, everybody knows clementines are those tiny, tiny little looking like orange things. And he says, are you going to eat both of them right now? And she said to him, yeah, well, this is a serving size. And he said, oh, you should, we are going to go out to eat. You should sit, you really want to eat that now or something like that. Making it sound like he was telling her you shouldn't eat both things, but it's fruit. Like, so I thought that was weird that he would make a comment about fruit. If you're watching someone's weight, let them eat friggin' fruit. Like, that makes no sense. So he begged them to please play the thing. And I'm like, well, we'll never see that. But at the end, it was an end credit. They go back and they show this exact scene that they are both referring to, because he swore up and down that he did not do this. When you see them talking about it, and she grabs the clementines, she says to him, he said, oh, you're going to eat both of them now or something like that. And very casually, very jokingly. And she said, well, yeah, they're a serving size. And he says, oh, okay. He goes, oh. And she goes, well, I haven't eaten anything all day. And he said to her, why? Haven't you eaten anything all day? And he said, I offered something. I forget what they were eating, but he said, I offered you such and such to eat. Why didn't you eat it? And she said, either she wasn't hungry or she didn't want that or something to that effect. And he said, all right, but he goes, you're sure you want them? Because we're going to go out to eat and we're going to eat. Like, and he made all these gestures, like, we're going to have a huge meal. We're going to make a big thing. It was so not what she said. So I was really disappointed in her, because she really tried to make him look bad. And I guess it was the way she perceived the conversation. I'm not going to say in her head it didn't happen, but he was not clocking her food at all. After you watch that scene, cleared his name of everything. So I was really like, because you know how people get on Instagram and all like that, they'll be mean and nasty. Matt and Colleen, my prediction was that they were going to say yes, and they absolutely did. They both, I was a little unsure about Matt, because he gets a little like, they were talking about him being the potential one that would run away and not want to do it, but he started his whole thing off that, like, she said yes right away, and then the way he was getting ready to, like, to say it, it sounded like he was going to say no, and then all of a sudden he turned it around and he was like, absolutely, and everybody in the room cheered for them. It was, like, really, really cute. And at the reunion, they said that they are not living together right now, but only because of, which I thought was really weird, that Nick Lachey and Vanessa didn't understand why they couldn't wrap their minds around this whole situation, because she lives with roommates and he has his own apartment, and you can't just move out and do whatever you want, because you have leases, and you'll have to break a lease, and it is expensive, we know, to break a lease. So they said right now at this moment they are not living together. She still has her apartment, he has his apartment, but one way or another they are together 7 days a week, whether they're at his apartment or at her apartment. But she said, I have roommates and I'm not going to leave them high and dry where they can't find somebody. So their leases will line up together, that when they are over, they will, split, and they will be together and stuff like that. So, but they're very together. They're still happy in the whole bit. Nancy and Bertice, I knew they weren't going to be together. I knew it was going to be him that was going to say no. She can't stand him. She wants nothing to do with him. They went back and, like, started talking about them, and she, said that he said that when he was watching the show, he was actually rooting for them. And he said, even though I knew the answers, I kept saying, like, come on, guys, say yes, say yes, say yes. He's like, because he was really into their love story, too. He says, but, he knows how it obviously ended. She said that she was just pissed at him because she was blindsided by the fact that he kept telling her all along that they should be together, they love each other, this and that. And
What the hell is going on in the hallway?
It's a definite dog fight.
Hold on, I gotta plug my laptop in. May the best dog win.
But she said that she had asked him to please not, like, gaslight her and let her think this is going somewhere it's not. And then they apparently, like, at the reunion, when they got deeper into his whole thing, like, they found out the next day that he was with a girl. And she was, like, pictured with her sitting on his lap and this, that, and the other thing. And, like, how, if you were so, because he was still trying to say he was so busted up about, like, not getting together with her and not saying yes. And they're like, if you were, then how could you end up being with somebody the very next day? And so he obviously was clearly a jerk, that guy. Raven and SK, like I said last week, I didn't think they were going to get together at the altar, but I thought it was going to be more her than him, and he was the one that said no. But in the reunion, it turns out that that's the card.
Oh my god, I thought they threw the dog down the hall.
No. In the reunion, it turns out that they're actually now dating, and they're back together, and I don't think they ever really split up. Like, I just think they didn't get married, but they got together and they're dating, and things are looking very promising, and they're very happy together. So they're a very cute couple. So I'm sure they'll be on Life After the Altar as well with Matt and Colleen. And then there is Alexa and Brennan, the last couple, right? Yeah. Alexa and Brennan, the last couple, they never had problems through the whole thing, and I predicted that these two were going to get married, and they did. They both said yes. Very cute couple. They have still no problems. They're just working through basic newlywed stuff, nothing crazy. Somebody gave them the best advice that, because once they moved in together, they were having problems, like, sharing spaces together, and someone said, don't let roommate issues become your marital issues. Now that they're conscious of this, they're trying to, make sure that they don't let this stuff get carried away. And the final thought is, so apparently Andrew and the eye drops was not what I thought it was. It was him being sarcastic and joking and being a little snide cretin. Because apparently Nick Lachey, in the middle of the whole thing, Nick Lachey goes, hold on one second, is this okay if I just put these in? So he was, like, commenting on it, and apparently, yes, it was supposed to be that he was a little shit. And
he was trying to fake cry.
And he was legitimately, like, being sarcastic about it. I don't know. So turns out that, he was a jerk. So I just don't want to give him the props that he wasn't. So take it away.
Alrighty.
He was a jerk.
I am going to do Rutherford Falls season 1, and then we'll do season 2 next week. So this was created by Sierra Teller Ornelas and Michael Schur, who did Parks and Rec, Good Place, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, all those. Ed Helms, people probably know him from The Office. He's the main character. All three of these guys created the show. Don't read ahead. So the main characters is Nathan Rutherford. He's the last Rutherford who lives in Rutherford Falls. There's still other Rutherfords, but...
Oh, the town was named after them.
Yeah, well, you'll see. And then there's Bobby Yang, Nathan's personal assistant, Regan Wells, who's part of the Minnesota Nation. Sorry. And she runs their culture center there in Terry Thomas's casino, but she wants to make her culture center a full-on museum. And the town basically has this problem because there's a giant statue, Big Larry, and it's right in the middle of the road, and people keep crashing into it. But it's meant to stay there because that spot is where Larry and the Minnesota agreed to share the land. All the way back in the day. At first, Nathan's like, I don't want to move it. And then he's like, you know what? Okay, fine, I will do it. And then the town basically loses it on him and are like, oh, no, wait, we should just get rid of the statue, or we should get a statue with this. So he basically gets upset that they're not appreciating the statue. So he's like, you know what? Screw it. I'm not going to let you.
Charlie? Is it? It's like a distant relative, you say?
Charlie?
Who's the statue?
Big Larry. Did I say Charlie, or did you hear wrong?
I heard Charlie.
No, Big Larry, Lawrence Rutherford, who started Rutherford Falls, basically.
Why'd they call him? Oh, Larry. I'm still on Charlie. Sorry. I don't know where I was getting that from.
And then there's Josh, who works at NPR and wants to do a story on the whole issue. And Nathan agrees to let him do the story once he figures out that Terry is going to sue him for not keeping the deal that Big Larry set up all the way back in the day. It was supposed to be like, you know, we'll share the land, and in return, the Rutherfords will give you, I think they said, like corn and fur and things like that, you know, high value items from back in the day. I will say Josh played Ted on Schitt's Creek. He was Alexis's boyfriend, so that was very fun. I was like, oh my god, look at him. I didn't recognize him at first because now he has a beard in this show, so I was like, whoa. And Terry ends up saying that he's going to drop this whole lawsuit as long as he can buy the land where Nathan's home sits on and / museum, because Nathan's home is also a museum for the town, basically, and the Rutherfords. And Nathan,
it's probably historical too, though, right? Like,
it's not marked as a historical site because there's nothing historical happened there technically.
No, but I mean, like, it's probably original to the town. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, it's not their, like, the house.
Like, it's not a brand new built house. It's from that era.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So it's probably, to them, it's historical.
Yeah, well, to him.
Yeah.
And Nathan and Regan get into a fight. They're best friends in the show, but she ends up getting into a fight when she...
Did you just say breast friends?
I said they're best friends.
I think you said breast.
All right, whatever. Best friends. They get into a fight once he goes to his great aunt's house, and she sees that his great aunt has a bunch of stolen Minnesota artifacts, basically. And after this fight, she says, you know what, I'm going to work with you, Terry, and we'll transform Rutherford Falls basically into like a tourist trap of a town. They're going to take it back to colonial times, like aesthetic, and basically market it as a giant tourist trap to make money for the town. And with this, he will also let her, you know, build like a museum that's going to be in the center of town to honor Minnesota. And Regan and Josh end up going back and getting the artifacts that from the great aunt, and she finds out that Nathan may not be a Rutherford. And when she tells him, he basically loses his mind because this is like his whole identity is being a Rutherford. So now that
does she mean like he's adopted or something?
So yeah, he has a different dad. His dad is not a Rutherford. So basically, he loses it. And
is it true?
Yeah, no, it's true. He loses his mind, and it ends with him going on like trying to figure out who he really is now because his whole identity.
Is this not a comedy?
Yeah, it is.
How is it that when you tell some of these, they don't sound like they're comedies? I'm gonna be honest.
I don't know. Yeah, they always highlight the drama in the show. Josh and Regan do kiss. They have a little bit of a relationship, but they kind of doesn't go anywhere because she doesn't want to be with him because he ends up doing the podcast on the downfall of Nathan, basically, on how he is controlling, loses mind, you know, just goes crazy. And that's where the show ends for season 1. Season 2, I'm already halfway through it. It's really good. I like it. The show is canceled already.
I'm not even gonna lie and tell you that I thought that was one whole episode.
Nope, that's a whole season. They're like 20 minutes though, so they're really short.
Oh, so they're quick ones, yeah.
Yeah, I think this is a Peacock exclusive, so it was never on NBC. Mm-hmm. So it's even, you know, they can do whatever they want with the time because they don't really even have to fit.
We do love that.
Yeah. But sadly, they did short on it. But we'll get into... why did I write one sentence for season 2? Where is the rest of my sentence? Where is all the other work I typed out for season 2? That's concerning. I am worried.
Was it not further down?
No, because there it says Rutherford Falls season 2, and all I wrote is that the town begins transformation. This is all OC and Warrior Nun. That is worrisome. So I may or may not talk about Rutherford Falls next week.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
Where would I rank this against other comedies? I think I like American Auto better than this one. I obviously love Abbott more than this one. Abbott's like in my top 3 now. But would I put it below Mr. Mayor? No, not at all. I'm still watching the show, so that's how you know it's positive.
Man, she's really brutal on that Mr. Mayor.
Because I couldn't even finish the first episode.
And she likes the guy that's on there.
So how could I not? It's like, but this does that same thing where it's like, it does that, not the same woke humor that Mr. Mayor did. It does the new humor that is in American Auto. I recommend giving it a chance, even though it's canceled. But I'll come back on season 2 to let you know if you should really give it a chance, because that's what the story is 1 through 2, because there's nothing else to go on.
1 through 2.
1 through 2.
Oh, you mean like 1 and 2?
1 and 2.
I get
Ay. All right, take it away. Finish it off. I'm like, what do you have in your hand? I'm like, how'd you get my chapstick?
No,
I found it under my foot before while you were doing your Love is Blind.
I got my own.
It's all melted now.
Oh, you like it like that. So, I did manifest finally, and I'm both sad and excited because now I did it and it's over, but I would probably watch it again. The series has moved to Netflix. Look,
you don't rewatch shows like that.
No, but this, you know what? There is so much stuff in this show that it is insane. But if you like shows like that are like kind of supernatural plot twisting, crazy,
The Lost kind of type
like
of show.
a Lost type show. This
is why I think you would like The Wilds.
No,
because it's like that.
No, but it's not scary. They're not scary like The Wilds. The Wilds is scary. I don't want no jumpy, crazy crap.
Yeah, well, it's canceled anyway.
No, I don't want that.
So don't even waste your time.
This season, the last season, they did. I feel like Netflix.
I don't know anything about the show.
I'll tell you. Netflix did a. I really feel like they did the series justice. In case you haven't watched, for those that haven't watched, first you should watch the show. I'm not going to watch the show, so go ahead, spoil it for me. Most people should. But for those that haven't watched before, the show is about a plane that went missing for 5 years and suddenly returned. Everybody thinks it's a miracle until weird things start happening, and the passengers start to get these things called callings, and they have to figure out the calling. So it's like a little psychic picture that they get in their head. They have to figure out the callings, otherwise the callings keep happening to each one of them. But they're not scary. They'll get
what happens if you don't answer your calling? You die or something?
Well,
or you go insane?
Yes, kind of. Well, you can go you kind of go cuckoo, or they give you a death date. It's very weird. So it's centered on Ben and Michaela Stone, which are brother and sister that were both on the plane. His son, also Cal, is a very big figure. If you haven't watched the show, you really need to watch it because a lot of this will not even make sense. But the show comes back with Cal returning 5 years older. His mother is now murdered, and his little sister Eden is captured. The plane that they had in the government facility, now that's gone. But in turn, they get the black box back so they can figure out what happened that night on the plane when they all disappeared. It turns out that the sister who they thought was the baby sister that they thought was kidnapped was gone or died, is actually alive and still with this other plane passenger, Angelina. Cal inherits this weird dragon tattoo that will kind of bring his callings back because he lost his callings when he left. And he gets it from a man that came over from Hong Kong that brought the black box. In the whole process, Ben doesn't give up looking for his daughter. He ends up getting a tip after he goes on a podcast, and it leads him to figure out where his daughter has been, and he ends up finding her. Cal discovers where he's been for the past 5 years, and he discovers what the bright white light was that they all claim they saw the plane going into, and he figured it out with the help of his twin sister that they were in the divine consciousness for the past 5 years. Cal's cancer comes back. He had cancer before he left when he was younger, and they took this trip actually on this plane because of his cancer. I think they were supposed to be giving him one last family trip together. So that's how they ended up on the plane in the beginning. And when he came back from this last 5 years away from his family after he touched the tail fin, he now has his cancer back, and you can see that he's kind of deteriorating and dying and all like that again. So the one woman that has been helping, she was also a plane passenger, Savi, she's a scientist, and she's been helping try to figure out the callings that these people have and about the death state that they're dealing with. She discovers that all the callings are just memories, and that if you can get this sapphire stone, and it's called the Omega Sapphire, if you can get this stone, you can enhance the callings and enhance the memories. So they're hoping they can figure out like how to solve this death date by getting the stone. But the girl Angelina who kidnapped Eden, she gets her hands on the stone instead, and she lets out like a loud scream when Ben Stone finds her in this church and like is antagonizing her, and all of the people that have callings can hear it. And it's like amplified, and they like all like dip down and like oops,
got a little something to.
Sorry, they all like cover their ears, and they react in a way that you couldn't hide that you were having a calling. So the ones that were they used to have to do a check-in monthly because people thought they were a miracle at first, and then after a while when people started hearing about the callings and thinking they had special powers, people started becoming afraid of them. So they had to register, and every month they had to check in. So when you were checking in at the police station, this calling happened, and anybody that was there they rounded up and put into a cage, and they're keeping them all there, and they're going around collecting all the people that are 828ers, because this was like some kind of mass thing that freaked everybody out.
How many people were on this plane?
It was a big plane. It was an 828 or whatever that is. I don't know how big that plane is, but it was pretty.
Hell?
I don't know. It's a weird. Locked out of my Amazon account.
Oh, good. You don't have one.
Yeah, I know. It was a very big plane. Like there was a lot of people on there. I forget. They say how many passengers were on there during the whole show, but I forget when they say it. But Michaela Stone, the sister,
191 passengers and crew.
Yeah. So Michaela, who is Ben Stone's sister, she was on the plane as well. Everybody else took an earlier flight when this happened in the beginning. The mom and the other sister, and a couple other people. They were the only three that decided to get bumped back because they asked who would be willing to bump back. So they took a different flight. That's how they got separated, and why these three were there, and the mom and the other twin sister went home. Michaela married another passenger, Zeke, that she ended up having a calling and finding. Her and Cal found when something happened to him where his death date happened, and he kind of died but came back to life. When he came back to life, he lost all his callings, but he had this thing called empathy, where he could feel what people were feeling and sense what they were like thinking without them speaking. And he realized that while he could do that, he was realizing he could advance them, and he could also pull those feelings from people so they wouldn't feel it anymore. Because when the mom died, he went up to the twin sister and he was trying to comfort her, and something he did was like he touched her, and all of a sudden she said, "I don't know what you did, but I feel so much better." And he realized he could take her grief away from her. So he thought, if he can take grief away from people, why couldn't he take the boy Cal's cancer away from him?
Yeah.
And take it on himself. Because what he was an addiction counselor, so he would hold the people that he was there and take their like need to want drugs and alcohol. Keep in mind, that's what he was. Also in the past, he was recovering, so he was dealing with like trying to push those feelings down. He realized he could take Cal's cancer and save him, knowing that he was going to die anyway. So it ended with Cal being obviously waking up and being cured, and Zeke dying on the floor, and all the 828ers are round up in like different jails across the world. So there's a whole nother. I was getting concerned because I'm like, how could this end like this? But then I realized there's a whole nother part two. So I'm sure they'll clear it all up in the second.
I think also I heard that the part 1 came out on the day that the plane came back home, or something.
Oh, maybe
November 4th, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's,
yeah.
So when I just looked it up too in the passengers, it said that the plane left on April or something like that.
Yeah.
Or I don't know, whatever it said, something about April. So I bet that's when part 2 will come out in April.
No,
that's not horrible.
That's
I mean, it's far, but it's not.
I might rewatch the whole
Oh
thing.
my!
So if I do that, at least I'll have something up until that point. Because you really have to watch it. If you like stuff like this, like, you really have to watch it, because it's a lot. It's a lot in there.
Yeah, the show Good Girls that I watch, every time a new season would come out, I would watch it, because they'd always end up turning it all the way back to the original crime that the girls did. And, like, they would link all the crimes together, so it was kind of like, you get a little lost and confused.
Yeah, you really need to know what's going. You really need to know, like, the backstories for everything to really appreciate it. That's what I should say. To really appreciate it.
This is definitely, though, like, to me, it sounds like, I don't even know what channel it was on, but it doesn't sound like it should have been, like, a network show. It sounds like a streaming show, 100%.
No, it's so much better on this. It was so much better
because you have more time, you have more things, and
yeah, it was definitely better here.
Overall, it's just easier to do things like that.
They said they had a lot more freedom, so it was good.
Oh yeah,
that's it.
Well, that's all I watched this week. So we will. What shows are we watching this week?
What am I watching this week? Yeah. Buying Beverly Hills.
Oh, you're gonna actually watch it?
Yeah. Kardashians, Dancing with the Stars, of course, My Days of Our Lives. Get on that. There's a scary clown that kidnaps somebody and his whole mom. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Come on, we're getting closer to Christmas. No Christmas themed crimes yet?
No, well, this was Halloween, so.
Oh.
Yeah, give them time. There's something will come. Something will come up.
Yeah, they're gonna have like Scrooge of Christmas Past be like a murder or something.
There's gonna be something. Love is Blind is over, so that's no more. So I'm not really sure what I'm gonna do.
You have to find something.
I have
the Below Deck, the new one. No,
yeah, I could try the Below Deck. I just feel like it's not gonna be the same as the sailing one, but I'll give it a whirl. I'll try it. I don't know.
Maybe watch the Warrior Nun.
Maybe, I don't know.
Well, check our Instagram to see what she's officially gonna watch.
Yeah,
she'll have to look through
I gotta really think about it.
Well, I'm gonna watch Kung Fu episode 7. Abbott will be back next week, and then I'm already halfway through Rutherford Falls, so I'll do the second part next week.
How much more of Kung Fu is there, for heaven's sakes?
Wait, it's episode now. Yeah, I'm like caught up. I'm watching with everybody now.
Oh, okay. I was like,
I'm with the times now.
Okay.
Now I probably will start a new comedy show. The question is...
Yeah, I might do Call Me Kate, but I don't know.
Call Me Kat.
Kat. Sorry.
So I may try Blockbuster. I'll see. But I think that show's like only 4 hours, so I should be able to finish it quite quickly. Either I'm going to start another Peacock one, or I might start one of the shows on Apple TV. It will either be the morning show or Loot, which has Maya Rudolph in it. So we'll see. But I might just finish all the Peacock shows off, because I have Grand Crew, and then also Girl 5 Ever, and also I want to watch Veep too. But I'm trying to do the shorter stuff before I get to Veep, because that's like 6 seasons. So watch the smaller stuff.
And speaking of Apple, we did get Apple to watch Selena's documentary.
We talked about that.
It was interesting.
It's not something we could have talked about and made a whole episode or anything.
There were some things that were interesting and some things that like you kind of already knew a little bit.
Yeah.
But it was worth watching, I think.
Yeah, go get your 2 months free from Selena Gomez.
Yeah, I think it was worth watching.
Go on our social media. That's where we got it
from. It was just very... there were certain parts that I was like, yeah, you go, girl, because there were certain things where paparazzi were, not being nice to her, and she would answer accordingly. And then even like she did interviews that were like... Yeah. They were, they were asking the same old stupid questions instead of actually trying to get deep and get something well worth it out of it. So I could see where she would get annoyed with certain things. So,
as for this week for us together, we are gonna do obviously Andor episode 11. We've been doing that. This is second to last Andor, and then we also are gonna do season 3 of OC. We may try to do the 4th one. We don't know. We will see. So make sure you subscribe so you know
how quick they move.
And Dead to Me. I have Dead to Me this week. Sorry, I didn't write that down, but I'm looking on my handwritten notes. So I'm watching Dead to Me this week. So I'll be doing Dead to Me, the finale season. Also, Black Panther came out this past weekend, but because of tickets and when we were buying tickets and timing and scheduling, we weren't able to go and see it this weekend. So we are going to see it on Tuesday. So we are going to do a whole episode for Black Panther, a bonus little episode that will probably come out on Thursday. So expect that on Thursday, basically, quite simply. Let me just put it like that. And also a bonus episode that we're going to do at the end of the month. We always do a bonus one on the last day of the month. We're going to watch Anne Hathaway's filmography. You have to go to the library this week and go get the movie. Yeah, so put that on some kind of list. Otherwise we're going to forget, because we were supposed to get it this week and then we forgot.
Yeah.
All right, so thank you guys so much for listening or watching. Give us a 4 or a 5. I mean, a 4 if you think we have to improve, a 5 if you know we're going to improve. You can't change your score, so you might as well just go ahead and leave that 5. Alright, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any of the episodes, because like we said, possible bonus episode, maybe 2 OCs, we don't know yet. So you got to subscribe, turn on the notifications, do the same thing if you're on YouTube, and also if you're on YouTube,
actually, or follow.
Oh, well,
yeah, I think you
sorry,
follow,
subscribe. I don't know, press the button that you follow us, basically. And if you're on YouTube, give us a thumbs up. Don't give us a thumbs down. Instead, leave a comment telling us how we can improve. And this was such a cheeky little long one, but we had so much going on this week, so that's all I have to say. Oh. Excuse me, are you playing our podcast episodes over there?
Yeah, I just want to make sure. Yeah, no, it's you follow the show.
All right. Well, I'm sorry.
No, I just want to make sure we have the right terminology. I don't want to confuse people. I'm easily confused.
Follow, subscribe, whatever. Where it says you want to follow the show, subscribe. I'm sorry. There's 100 different ways to say how do you want to follow, subscribe to somebody, because every social media platform is different. So whatever your thing says, follow us and turn on notifications.
Honestly, they all are like that.
Thank you so much for listening or watching. Now say your line.
Hit the button. Goodbye. We're going to eat pancakes. Yes? No?
Good heavens.
Are we? No?
No, I'm going to starve you.
No, but I mean, you've changed your mind.
No, I want pancakes.
Okay.
I've told you, I've been thinking about pancakes since last weekend when you made them.
Okay.
Now this has become a lifestyle podcast.
Goodbye. Hit the button. Hit the button.